This part of the lesson is about the past simple and past continuous. Let's start with the past simple. First, a brief review about the grammatical structure of this tense. To conjugate the past simple, we have to bear in mind that there are two types of verbs in the past. Those are the regular verbs and the irregular verbs. To start with the regular verbs, these are verbs that follow a common rule. We use the base form of the verb and we add ed. For example, worked. There are also some spelling rules to take into account. For the verbs ending in e, we only add d as in found. For the verbs ending in a consonant plus y, we change the y for the I and add ed. For example, studied. For those verbs which end in a vowel plus consonant, we double the last consonant and add ed. For example, stopped. Now, for the irregular verbs, there is no rule. We have to study them because they change. However, we can classify them into three groups according to some similarities. Verbs which do not change. They remain the same in the past. Cut, hit, fit. Verbs which change one vowel in the past. Get, got, drink, drank, sit, sat. Verbs which change completely in the past. Catch, caught, eat, ate, go, went. Affirmative. Look at these sentences. I worked late last night. He worked late last night. In these sentences, we have the subject I and he, and then the verb in the past, worked. The verb in the past is used in the same form for all the subjects. Negative. In negative sentences, we use the auxiliary verb didn't plus the base form of the action verb. Notice that the action verb is not in the past form. Didn't is used for all the persons, so we have subject plus didn't plus the base form of the verb. Susan didn't cook yesterday. We didn't cook yesterday. Interrogative. To form the interrogative, we use did plus subject plus base form of the verb. Then we have, did he play football yesterday? Did you play football yesterday? Notice that the action verb remains in the base form, as in the negative form. Now, let's get a look to the uses of the past simple. We use the past simple for a definite completed action. The past simple describes an action which began and ended at a definite time in the past. It can last for a long time or for a very short time. It can happen only once or many times. The time when the action was made is important. They went to the cinema last Saturday. Astronauts landed on Mars in 1969. We use the past simple for actions which happen immediately one after the other in the past. For example, first she paid the driver, then she got out of the taxi. Yesterday, the electricity went out, so we went outside, got into the car, and turned on the radio. For past habits, situations that were true in the past but don't exist anymore. Peter smoked 20 cigarettes a day till he gave up. When I was a child, I played basketball every Saturday morning. We can use used to with the same meaning of past habits. Tom used to run 10 kilometers every Sunday morning. When I was a child, I used to play basketball every Saturday morning. Past continuous. To form the past continuous, we need the verb to be in the past, was or were, depending on the subject, plus the verb with the ing ending. Affirmative. We have to pay full attention whether we use was or were, and that depends on the subject we have. Then the action verb always goes with the ing ending. It doesn't matter which subject we use. Kim was studying at 12:30 yesterday. They were studying at 12:30 yesterday. So we have for I was, she was, he was, it was. We were, they were, you were. Negative. We form the negative by using the verb to be in the past and in the negative form. Wasn't or weren't, plus the verb ing. The children weren't watching TV last Friday afternoon. She wasn't watching TV last Friday afternoon. Interrogative. To make questions, we have to use first the verb to be in the past, that is, was or were, plus subject, plus the verb with the ing. Were you doing yoga yesterday morning? Was she doing yoga yesterday morning? Now let's check the uses of the past continuous. We use the past continuous for an action which was in progress at a definite time in the past. The action began before the specific point in time and might continue after that time. For example, at 7 o'clock yesterday evening, they were having dinner. Maybe they were having dinner at 6:30 and they finished dinner at 8. Another example. The actor was filming at noon. For an action which was in progress when another action interrupted, we use the past continuous for the action in progress, the longer action, and the past simple for the action which interrupted, the shorter action. For example, he was walking down the street when he bumped into a friend. As I was going out of the house, it started to rain. For two or more simultaneous past actions, parallel actions. That is to say, that the past continuous indicates that the activities were happening at the same time. Sarah was working while her daughter was playing. She wasn't dancing while she was cooking. For annoying habits, this use is similar to that of the present continuous. Typical adverbials are always and continually. When John worked here, he was always making mistakes. When my brother was younger, he was always breaking something. To describe the atmosphere, setting, etc. in the introduction to a story before we describe the main events. It gives background information. One beautiful autumn afternoon, Ben was sitting at the park. The birds were singing and the leaves were rustling in the breeze. Everyone was sitting at the dinner table. Soft music was playing. A warm breeze was blowing through the open windows. To conclude, the past continuous describes events which last in time in the past, and the past simple is a shorter action. For example, they were enjoying the morning when the thief stole the briefcase. That's all for now.